You're outside, you enter a room. You need to say something, but you can't. Your heart races, your hands start sweating, your throat tightens. 1,000 thoughts race through your mind, but not a single word comes out. You feel like everyone is staring at you, like you're about to say something stupid and make a fool of yourself. At that moment, you have only one desire: to disappear, to go home, to not speak to anyone, to not be seen by anyone. Then you get angry at yourself. You say, "Why am I like this? Everyone else talks so freely, why can't I?" You think this over and over again, but you can't find an answer. You feel like something is missing in you, as if being social has been given to others but not to you. If this scene sounds familiar, you're not alone. What you're experiencing isn't a matter of character or a lack of willpower, as you might think. It has a name. It's called social anxiety. And let me tell you something important. Social anxiety doesn't mean you're weak. It means your brain is going too far in its attempt to protect you. So the problem isn't with you, it's with the alarm system your brain has set up. In this video, I'll explain why social anxiety occurs, exactly what's going on in your brain, and most importantly, how to overcome it step by step. Not with motivation, not with hype, but with science, clear logic, and a truly applicable system. Ready? Let's begin. It's important to clarify this from the outset. Social anxiety is not shyness. It's not a lack of self-confidence. It's certainly not a personality disorder. It's not something you can just label yourself with by saying, "That's just how I am." Social anxiety is a condition where the brain perceives social situations as dangerous. When you enter a social setting or need to talk to someone, your brain interprets it as if there's something truly risky going on and activates its alarm system. When that alarm system kicks in, you know what happens. Your heart races, your body tenses, your hands and feet tremble, your throat tightens, your mind goes blank. And while you're experiencing all this, you think, "There's something wrong with me." But the problem isn't with you. The problem is that your brain is overdoing it in its attempt to protect you, like an alarm that goes off unnecessarily loud. There's no real danger, but your brain is screaming, "Danger." Therefore, someone experiencing social anxiety is not weak, deficient, or broken. They simply have a safety system that is triggered in the wrong place. And this is a very important point, because if there is a learned alarm system, that system can be retrained correctly. So it's not an unchangeable part of your personality, it's a mechanism that can be resolved. The moment you understand this, you realize something. The self-blame, shame, and "why am I like this?" questions you've been asking yourself for years were actually directed in the wrong direction. The problem isn't you. The problem is the false alarm your brain is giving. And the moment you make this distinction, a solution becomes truly possible for the first time. We'll understand the mechanism a little better in the next section. Now let's talk about that famous moment everyone experiences. You're in a social setting, talking to someone, or you need to talk to someone, and suddenly your mind goes blank. You don't know what to say, the words don't come, it's like your brain has been switched off. This is the moment when most people are harshest on themselves. You beat yourself up thinking, "Am I stupid? Why can everyone else talk and I can't?" But the issue here isn't intelligence and certainly not social skills. First, we need to clarify how the brain works. The brain generally doesn't function without a goal. If there's a goal, the brain sees it and automatically focuses on completing it. Think of it like drinking water when you're thirsty. Nobody tells you step by step, get up, go to the kitchen, grab the glass, fill it with water. But the brain organizes it on its own. The goal is clear. The process flows. The problem in social settings begins right here. In what we call free conversation, there's no clear goal. The purpose of the conversation is unclear. What will be done, what will be said, where we're going, it's not clear. If we think of it like a computer game, there's no task, no map, no signs. The brain stops at this point and asks, "What am I doing here?" That's when the feeling of emptiness arises. The inability to know what to say, the freezing, the paralysis, it all stems from this. But if your role is clear, if you have a job description, if you have a goal, the brain works more easily. For example, you're giving a presentation, you have slides, you know exactly what you're going to say, so you're relatively more relaxed. Or you're talking to a waiter, you're going to place an order. The goal is clear, to order food or a drink and receive it. You talk to a cashier, you've received the product, you're going to pay. Again, the task is clear. That's why even someone with social anxiety feels more comfortable in these situations, because the brain has a route, it knows what to do. But in what we call free conversation, there's no such path. No goal, no role, no boundaries. What will be discussed is unclear. and the brain perceives this uncertainty as a threat. It starts scanning, thinking, what should I say? What will happen now? Will I say something wrong? The moment this scanning begins, mental resources go not to conversation, but to self-monitoring. The result? Emptiness, lockdown, freezing. So the phrase, I don't know what to say, actually means this. Your brain is shutting down the speech center because it's entered threat mode. It's not that you can't find the words, that you're not funny, or that you're not interesting. Your brain is currently focused on survival. Therefore, creative thinking, flow, and conversation naturally stop. There are two very critical things here. Now we come to the heart of the matter. There are two main mechanisms that sustain social anxiety and allow it to persist for years. Without recognizing these, neither therapy, nor motivation, nor time can permanently resolve the issue. The first is excessive self-focus. The second is safety behaviors. Let's start with focusing on oneself. Someone with social anxiety doesn't pay attention to the other person. They focus not on what's being said in the conversation, but on what's happening to them. Did my voice tremble? Did my face blush? Do I look silly? Did I say something awkward? Instead of the content of the conversation, there's an internal camera constantly monitoring themselves. This leads to, the more you monitor yourself, the more tense you become. The more tense you are, the more awkward you feel. And this feeling reinforces the thought, see, I really am awkward. That's where the vicious cycle begins. The second issue is safety behaviors. These are behaviors that seem to comfort you but actually fuel social anxiety. For example, speaking little, remaining silent, avoiding eye contact, not making jokes, not expressing opinions, constantly rehearsing in your head, thinking multiple times before speaking, or withdrawing yourself with the thought, I shouldn't talk too much, I shouldn't draw attention to myself. When you do these things, you feel a little relief in the short term, but the brain learns, if I do these things, nothing bad will happen to me. And so it postpones the anxiety and magnifies it even more. Here's the critical point. Social anxiety survives on two things, self-focus and safety behaviors. Everything you do unconsciously under the guise of protecting myself actually strengthens the problem. Therefore, none of the solutions described in this video will work without understanding these two mechanisms. If you say, I do all of these things, then you're in the right place, because the solution starts right here. Now we need to clearly define the core of the solution. Social anxiety cannot be solved by thinking about it. You can formulate 100 logical sentences in your head. You can say, they're not actually judging me. You can say, it's not that important. But the brain won't turn off the alarm without encountering a new experience, because this alarm system learned through experience, not logic. Therefore, it changes only through experience. The critical rule here is this: proceed in small steps without fleeing or resorting to safety behaviors. Every time you flee in a social situation, your brain learns, there was danger, we took precautions, we escaped. The same message is sent every time you engage in safety behavior. But when you stay there and see that no disaster occurs, your brain gradually begins to receive new data. And this data updates the misinformation it has known for years. Now let's make this work. There's a single system, and it has a few clear pillars. First, change the goal of the conversation. In social anxiety, the goal is usually, I want them to like me. I don't want to seem awkward. I don't want to make a mistake. This goal is doomed from the start. Instead, you shift the goal to, I'm going to try to get to know the other person. At this point, attention automatically shifts away from you because you're no longer performing, you're curious. Secondly, shift your attention away from yourself. Instead of checking if your voice is trembling, if your face is flushed, or if you look ridiculous, focus on what the other person is saying and thinking. As soon as your attention shifts outwards, anxiety naturally begins to decrease, because the brain, constantly monitoring itself, is the main source that feeds anxiety. Third, consciously abandoning safety behaviors, speaking less, avoiding eye contact, rehearsing sentences in your head, withdrawing with the thought of, I'll say nothing. All of these provide short-term relief, but they exacerbate the problem in the long run. The goal here isn't perfection. The goal is to be able to remain there with that discomfort. Fourth, take small steps. You don't have to throw yourself into the most difficult social situations. Small steps are enough. Saying hello to someone, asking a short question, making a small comment. The brain registers each small step as, look, we survived again. And as these registrations accumulate, the alarm starts to fade. And finally, the what's the worst that could happen logic. Really ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Someone acts cold. The conversation doesn't flow. There's an awkward moment. Then what? Life goes on. The key to this system is seeing how manageable the catastrophe that the brain has been exaggerating for years actually is. So I can say this clearly. Social anxiety is solvable, but it's solved not with courage, but with a system, through small steps, real experiences, and the practice of staying put without running away. If you understand the system, you know what to do, and it's not as unattainable as it seems. With the right practice, you can overcome social anxiety. Thank you for watching the video this far. I hope what I've explained has clarified things for you and given you the feeling that this is solvable after all. By the way, I'm also planning to make a separate video on how to have better conversations with someone you're just starting to talk to, how to make a conversation flow, where to find things that get stuck, and how to overcome them. If this video gets 50 likes, I'll create that video, which will cover communication and conversation from a completely practical and applicable perspective. If you found this video helpful, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and leave your thoughts in the comments. If you'd like to share your experiences with social anxiety, I'd love to read them. Take care, see you soon.